Hey there guys, Chief Meteorologist Grant Gilmore here. Want to take a look at the tropics because we do have an interesting situation on our hands as we go into the weekend. No tropical storm yet, but we could see tropical storm Cristobal develop as we head through the next few days. Here it is. We're calling it Invest 96L. Invest meaning that the National Hurricane Center is investigating it. In fact, they had a hurricane hunter out in the storm earlier today trying to really pinpoint where the center of circulation is around the center of the storm. Kind of unclear at this point. Right now the Hurricane Center is sort of saying, well, it's in this area right here. However, it could be up here, it really could be down here. And that is one of the initial problems with trying to forecast where this storm goes. But right now, sort of a rough guess in trying to say, okay, the center of this area of low pressure is just north of the Dominican Republic. So where is this thing going? Well, that's the big question because the forecast models really don't have a great idea. You see some of the forecast models taking it east of Florida, some of the forecast models have it taking it towards Florida, and then there's some forecast models that bring it to the west of the Florida Peninsula and even into the Gulf of Mexico. Here's what's going on. We have an area of high pressure in the upper levels of the atmosphere, the steering currents. And this area of high pressure sort of centered over Louisiana and Mississippi is bringing more of that northerly flow just off the Georgia, South Carolina coast. Meanwhile, we have an area of low pressure just to the north and east that is circulating in the counterclockwise direction, which when you have an area of low pressure or Invest 96L headed towards both of those different areas of circulation, there becomes a crossroads, if you will. So it looks like this Invest is heading through the Bahamas as we go into the weekend. After that point, that's where the models are really having a hard time determining which path it takes. Now, if it gets caught up in that upper level trough, then it looks like it steers more to the north and east and away from the U.S. mainland. Now, depending on the strength of this area of low pressure, or what could be Tropical Storm Cristobal at this time, if it's a little bit weaker, then it looks like it leans more towards the west, and more of a westerly track means that it gets caught up in that area of high pressure or that clockwise circulation around the center of the high, and that would be bringing it towards the Florida Peninsula. What happens? Well, I'll tell you this, it's still unclear at this point. However, a lot of the forecast models are beginning to indicate that it takes more of that westerly track, which really means we'll have to keep a close eye on it, especially here in the Triad, because you never know. It could continue to the north and potentially play a part in our weather down the road. So something that we're watching here as we go into the weekend. We really don't have to have any big concerns with it until we get into next week, but it will be interesting to see what happens with this area of low pressure as we head through the next few days. Of course, as always, we will keep you posted right here at WFMY News 2 and WFMYnews2.com.